Hey guys, I'm Cyborg Sheep, and welcome to the Weekend Post. In a previous update video, I unboxed this 36-volt constant current load tester.
This device is basically a giant space heater, with the added provision that it can very accurately control the amount of power consumed.
This is the cooling solution that it came with, and this was broken off due to shipping damage. Now, I could just try and reattach this, but for 180 watts, this cooler is pretty small. Therefore, I present to you water cooler. So this is a Deep Cool branded thermal solution. It's a triple length AIO. So basically what that means is that all the components are already set up and ready to go for maximum gaming. I mean, water cooling. And rather surprisingly, taking a look at this bracket here, with the mounting studs, slide them over to the inner position. Surprisingly, this actually just fits right out of the box, no modification required. Neat, eh? Now, electrically, however, not so sure. The cooler does have standard fan connectors and the AIO connector. But as for this board, I don't know if that's a standard output or if it's something different. You never know. So, to continue my testing, I need to yoink this connector off of here. Alright, well, managed to get it out of there. Bad news is, that was completely unnecessary. Good news is, I managed to figure it out, what they're doing with these fans. Over here, using this little test lead I made a while back. So, just like that, we got ground on the outside, 12 volt in the center. And this is kind of janky. This back fan here is doing nothing. So that's kind of silly. So that means then, with step 2, is seeing if these fans work in the same way. So taking a look at the wiring diagram on the gargler, it turns out the wire that is this one, so the one with the white stripe here is ground, and the one beside it is 12 volt. So different pinout from what the fans on this thing use. But let's see here. So one last check, and contact. Yes! Alright, fantastic. So, assuming then that ground is the wire that has the white stripe on it, that makes this. Ooh. Oh, yes! Awesome! Electrically speaking then, the plan is pretty simple. The 3 fans will be hooked up using this included wiring harness, and then I just have one more wire for the pump. So that leaves me with 2 wires that I need to give 12 volts to. So what that basically boils down to is I need another connector. Another connector I have right there. However, I need to yoink it off again. So,
Bigger hammer it is.
Alright, boys. Cooler's mounted to the tester. Fans are mounted to the radiator. So, given the multiple janky things that I had to do in order to mount this cooler, including, you can see there, that's the DC jack. I had to flip it from this side to the other side. Ooh! She's working! Alright, from here, the setup is pretty simple. We are going to plug in the tester. Alright, there we go. I have the battery wired into the screw terminals here. And it's going through a 15 amp fuse. It's kind of hard to take the cover off, but don't worry, there's a 15 amp fuse in there. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this voltmeter reading around 4 volts approximately. The display reading 3.95. A little bit of discrepancy there, but not too far off. We're going to have this meter on DC current. There we go. We are ready to start bringing up the load. There we go. There we go. 1 amp, buddy. Nice. Alright, so that's all well and good. However, we need to turn this thing up to 11. Now, technically the seller does claim that this is rated for 20 amps. I don't believe that for a second. But I expect to be able to get at least 10 amps out of this thing, worst case scenario. So, let's start increasing the load and see how she gets. Alright, 2 amps. We're down to 3.6, so that's technically the threshold voltage for a lithium ion, but let's see how it fares. Alright, there we go. 3 amps. She's doing pretty cool, all things considered. So I think that the heat dissipation is working pretty good. Let's see if we can go up to 5 amps. 4 amps. There we go. 5 amps. Alright. Now for the real test. Can we double it? That voltage is getting pretty low though. Ooh, actually that voltage is real low. Okay. Alright, I've fully charged this cell now. So hopefully we can make it up to a slightly higher current now. Worthy of note too that before I continue. So, according to the spec sheet, the minimum cutoff for these batteries is 2.5 volts and they're rated 20 amp. So this should be possible. So let's start increasing the load. 1 amp, 5 amps, 6 amps, 7 amps, 8 amps, 9 amps, 10 amps! Oh yeah! Come on, give me 11. 11 amps! Yes! Boom! Look at that! 11 amps. Damn, that's a lot of power. I think with that pretty much concludes the testing for this thing. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you dudes in the next video. I have some pretty cool stuff planned for this tester that I think you guys are gonna like. So, stay tuned.